of placings. Game 3 draft starting. AL with the first pick again, opting for different bans than the standards. Vi, Annie early here. Maybe they look for something like the Orianna if BLG opt to give that over, but they haven't so far.
And this would be the same placement as last split for AL. They fell to Weibo 3-1. See if they can maybe make it a little bit different here. BLG, very, very tough opponents, it feels like, with those bans already being very similar to what we've seen before, except AL changing things up a little bit for themselves, at least, taking away that Annie that BLG have been banning away against them in the second phase. The Orianna will not be let through here, as we almost had it. It will be banned away by BLG, and first pick of the Ezreal.
So this has been banned the entire series so far. Karma is up, but so is Jarvan, which is not good into Ezreal, but it is good into Karma. Makes sense with the Vi ban, though. Vi is great into Ezreal. Could expect a Nautilus here. Another thing that's quite good into the Ezreal. But instead, potentially a Bard pickup for BLG. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this if your name isn't Carrier. I like this a lot more. Because I think the Bard, Ezreal can get away from it. And then team can go towards also a mobile mid. I think this stuff makes a lot more sense. Take the Karma, go something like the Xin Zhao or the Jarvan. Jarvan's a little tougher into the Ezreal, again, but still very strong pairing with the Karma. Stop smiling like
just
that,
having a great time. Did you just tell him to not smile? That man has the best smile in the LPL. He does. Don't you dare. Don't you dare tell him to not smile. It will be the Jarvan in the end with the Karma combo.
I understand now. It's a mind game. They're saying, we know you're picking the Bard. We know it's coming. Having a bit of a mess around here with AL, I assume. This Bard gets locked in. It makes sense. Into the Karma. I like it. Now, what's the pairing with the Karma, however? Sivir, I think, makes the most sense to me. You've taken the Jarvan away. With the Karma, that's a good pairing. No Caitlyn, no Ezreal, no Varus. You could go Jhin, but into Bard, that's a bit risky. So I would expect something like the Sivir. AL, take a top laner here, potentially.
True.
But this is the worry with taking first pick. You don't get counter pick for your top. Bin is able to just say, I've been destroying this guy all series. Just let me get counter pick. This is a flex.
This is what I was talking about. Let's see it. I want to see Flandre unleashed, man.
Could be. This is probably the best answer so far for AL. They take a flex pick that's really strong. Well, something we've seen a ton of. The last Zeri, I think, was it Leave? On the Zeri Yuumi. Ooh. This is a statement. If this gets locked in, Viper Aphelios is legendary, but it is just going to be the Sivir.
With them. He's
a crowd's man at heart.
He's got the crowd at his fingertips here. The Sivir is just a consistent carry here for BLG, and it definitely looks like they're leaning into a very team fight oriented carry comp.
Yep. Good into the Ezreal because you have the wave clear. Great pairing with Sivir. Good into the Bard because Spell Shield. Good into the TF because of Spell Shield. And like you said, great team fighting. Great late game potential. So for AL, how do you lock down this Sivir is now the question. There's so much movement speed with the Karma and the Sivir together. That also kind of double enchants the Jarvan to be even scarier. You pick TF. That guy can't get out of Cataclysm. It is a nice flex. It's got roaming potential, but if you lock him down, a pick that is very susceptible to these ganks. So BLG going to opt to ban the junglers. Forget about the flex for now.
Oh, the Vayne. Just make sure we're not going to be getting a bin Vayne in here.
What about bin Jax?
Yeah, it could be. Classic throwback there. But for me, it's really needing some stability on this AL comp. You need some more consistent front lines, some more engage. But we've already expended so many powerful picks through the bans and the previous games for Tarzan. You do wonder what he's going to be willing to grab here, as the final ban of the second phase for BLG is Shanks' Akali.
Yep, lost the Xin Zhao, and BLG feel confident that this TF might be going top, or at least put some pressure on the flex to maybe it has to go mid with the Akali ban now, but Gonna be a Vayne and a Victor ban for AL. BLG, again, they have counter pick. So take a mid laner blind here, take a top laner blind here. I think that there are options. You know, you could go an Ornn. You could go a Jax. And I think that even if it's not TF top, it still feels good. Or you could take a Renekton. I think this is a little risky because we have seen some matchups that Renekton doesn't do too well into, but with Gnar and Vayne banned, two of his hardest ones, Jace also gone. That's a third really hard one. Renekton priority skyrockets.
If he's willing to do it, he will bring out the Renekton. So something we know of Bin very well is his Renekton gameplay, and that'll be coming out here in game number 3. Now, it's all up to what AL want to grab for their jungle. How do they want to set this team comp up?
Yep. I like this. Haven't seen too much of it because it's been banned. And then it fell off a little bit towards these more, you know, the Jarvan, the Zinzao, the Vi. But it's actually Rek'Sai. So this is still a flex. It will have to be broken. But can go top, can go jungle. So the TF, the Rek'Sai still, you know, available to go either way. AL can talk where they want to go.
Let's
Tarzan
go.
with the Nidalee.
I just want to see him unleashed, man. We'll see. The flex really was utilized with the TF.
Wow.
And then Nidalee, game number 3, everything on the line for Tarzan.
Yeah, good CC with the TF pairs as well. And you have that AD threat in the top lane with the Rek'Sai now, I assume. Well, actually, it can't be Rek'Sai mid. So yes, it will be TF in the mid lane. So where does Knight go? Might just be this Taliyah pairing with the J4. I think any mage is good. Any kind of CC. Syndra, really nice here. The Taliyah works. Something with range, something that has CC. Let's take it. Oh, change up. Mel. Still fits. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you get to block so much here as well. The true shot barrages, the spears, all kinds of stuff. The yellow cards even as well. So really nice last second pivot for BLG. All eyes on AL here, Jay Beto. We got to break down how their comp works, how it needs to work, because they need everything to go their way this game.
Yeah, Tarzan specifically needs everything to go his way. The Nidalee needs to get off to a good start. Needs to be invading Shun. Needs to be, you know, playing for the top side with Flandre, playing for mid ganks with the stun card. But on the other side, you've got a Jarvan. He's very slippery, hard to catch. You got a Mel who can reflect the stun card. If AL don't get off to a great start with Tarzan, he's going to find this game incredibly difficult to play. And I don't think that AL's comp is bad late game. They've got stun card. That's great. They've got Ezreal. You have a Sivir Karma on the other side with Mel for like late game damage. And then you've got a ton of CC with the Jarvan, with the Renekton, and with the Mel. I think AL have a serious timer on their hands. Not necessarily for their comp, but before BLG just run them over.
BLG have seemingly had the hold over AL in this series, and with both teams eyes on a continued lower bracket run, eyes on getting revenge against WE for knocking both of them down here, this game is a tipping point here for the run that can be in the lower bracket for BLG, or for the life that can be held on to by AL. Game number 3, BLG versus AL, starts now.
Whoa! Whoa!
Okay, first blood going to Nidalee. That's the start you like.
Doesn't feel good when you're chanting BLG Jayo and your jungler is getting killed level 1. It looked like Tarzan hit Shun with a spear earlier, and then Shun felt like he could walk back up to put a ward down, but AL had quite a few members hiding around the corner, and that's the value of the stun card. One of these champions that we've seen a lot more in mid, you know, specifically the TF and the Annie, picks that don't necessarily need big gold leads, although they often do get them, because the CC is what you're playing for, not necessarily a big gold influx. We've been seeing TF more in the top lane, more the AD style, but my eyes in this game are on not only this Nidalee for Tarzan, as it's off to a good start, but the top lane. How is this top lane going to go? Is Bin going to get a massive lead again? Because if he is, the game becomes, again, really hard to play. AL have a lot of skill expression possible in this draft with the Ezreal and the Nidalee. And it is off to a first blood. So pretty decent gold lead at the start.
Not too bad. And the Nidalee, which was once one of the most lauded picks for Shun when he was first coming up in the scene, will be used against him. But still value the facilitation that this Jarvan can give. You see the record, it speaks for itself. 6-2 on the Jarvan this split for Shun, and he's going for an invade.
Okay. Well, bomb plant fails. Shun now out of position.
He has his team coming with him. The heals burned early. Cosmic Binding does connect there as well, but the Knight catch onto Shanks is detrimental for AL. They're going to move on to On. He's going to have to flash away from the spear. Hope's coming up as well. Viper has not moved, importantly enough. A nice flash Cosmic Binding from Kael will get another kill for AL.
All right. Now, it is looking positive for AL, but we have seen similar or greater leads be thrown away in this series alone. So I am watching with bated breath as Viper needs the ghost. He has flash, so he should be fine. Electrocute proc, blocks the spell. Sorry, blocks the stun with the spell shield. Well played. Doesn't need to use his flash, but yeah, AL off to a good start. Tarzan 600 gold lead. Hope 150, so the positions are kind of flipped from last game. But still, you know, can we trust this gold lead? AL haven't been playing the later stages of this series to the level that we know they can.
And Knight's kind of cooking mid lane right now, at least in some of the early trades. But you do hope some of this early advantage for Tarzan can lead to him still continuously being proactive. And Kyle's on one of his best picks of the split. It feels like in the Bard. He's going to find something in mid lane, try to get some presence, gets a Cosmic Binding right back to the face. But we'll see if his kind of poke and prod pressure can really enable the rest of AL. As Shun a little bit delayed on the rest of his clear, as he did have to go back through his entire blue side, but still will spawn out Tarzan as he finishes. And important to note, obviously, some of the time that is spent, this is one of the only rosters that has really fully stuck together into this new year. And after coming together last year, it was so impressive to see them do so, even with a change in the coaching staff.
Yep. And the team has some excellent synergy. And we've seen that in some of their team fights. You know, the Flandre, Tarzan game 1 was really nice in terms of how they were playing together, but haven't found quite the success they want in this game. As Hope might have to flash. Yep, he will.
And he still gets rooted. So maybe, you know, it'll be an early flash burn. Doesn't matter that much. It's something to maybe think about, as Ben now going to be the target of Tarzan. Going to come up here. Usually it's the Renekton Nidalee that was the big combo in mid jungle, but now it's the Nidalee coming to chomp down on the Renekton, as she is buffed by a Void ally now in Flandre, and that should be an easy kill. Pick up Flash with a slice and dice. He should get away. The Flash comes back through from Flandre, but Flandre will not go down. Close. That's the kill traded, and or not traded rather, and 3-0 lead for AL.
Yeah, you're right. The Renekton Nidalee, very strong combo normally, but the Rek'Sai kind of fills a similar role. Normally the Renekton Nidalee, the combo is, so might need to hold this thought, as there are some rotations from AL coming in here. Let's
me the gate popped. Shanks goes into the pit to try to take down Shun, who's very low, just wants to get the smite, does do so, gets the heal as well, as he's trying to get out now too through the magical journey, and he's still alive. The root finally comes down. Kael's going to be taken down now, as Viper found a kill there onto Shanks, and that's going to be some quick recovery fights happening around the dragon. Now Tarzan looking for more kills. Oh, he doesn't connect. He does pounce away, but Viper comes over. One more auto. It's not enough. Tarzan does flash to safety.
Very close. One more auto, like you said. Yeah, BLG get 2 and the dragon get the flash out of Nidalee. Not the best contest. I think you just leave it at the kill top. You don't need to contest the Drake. It's okay. Instead, AL feels the need to contest this. I understand. You have the Destiny. You've got numbers advantage, you think, but Viper, look at how much damage he does to Hope. He basically all but one-shots him here, forces him out. He's not even going for the kill. He knows Hope's going to flash. He turns away already and then turns over to the main event, Shanks and Kael here. Flashes over the wall to continue fighting, gets the kill on Shanks. I don't agree with this contest from AL. You make the play in top with the synergy, which is the knock up into the spear, which we saw AL play pretty well. They executed pretty well mechanically on the top side. You're currently 3-0. It allows Flandre to get a decent lead and then maybe get a plate. And then give the dragon over. Instead, BLG take the dragon, get 2 kills, they'll make a mistake. And despite that first kill on the Flandre, look at the CS. Bin is still smashing this lane.
And that's the scariest part, I feel like, through all this, is the fact that there is still advantages being gained by BLG, even in some of the positive plays that are supposed to be coming down for AL. And it's troubling just because of the way that the game series, at least, has played out so far. And the fact that we have seen some advantages from AL, but unfortunately, they've been a little bit fleeting. We're going to be taking a look at a proactive play from AL into the jungle of BLG here.
Yep. Tarzan looking to invade. Shanks is around the corner too.
Oh, they want to go for it. Double Cataclysm. He's in some trouble now too, but here comes Knight over the top with the Golden Eclipse. And just like that, the Golden Left Hand takes his moniker and throws it into the face of AL with a double kill. Make it a triple kill.
This is the early game for AL. You see how they want to play it. We were talking in draft about how aggressive Tarzan needs to play. It starts off going really well, but these invades aren't well played. Knight is able to be there first. Shun gets a really nice Cataclysm, even though the EQ misses. Tarzan fights him in the cage. And the solo lanes for BLG are really winning. Not only
you don't
just
say.
in the gold, but just in this series. There's a serious gap in the solo lanes for BLG.
And that hasn't always been the case. I can recall times when Shanks has put up numbers against Knight himself, but Knight and Bin have just risen to the occasion. Specifically Knight here in game number 3 on this Mel. Such a clutch pick for him coming through in the latter half of the draft, and he has been the difference.
I mean, Shanks is here early, but Knight can roam very quickly, and you don't want that against a TF. You want to be way, way earlier. So Knight comes in and just does so much damage here on the Mel. End up getting this triple kill here after Kael can't get out. But yeah, when you're making these invades, you want to have the wave push. You want to be able to ult over and get there first on the TF. Like, significantly first, not barely first. And we started the game with, what, a 600 lead, 500-ish lead for Tarzan. Knight is up 30 CS, 4 kills, 9 stacks of Dark Seal. He has a 1.5k gold lead in 10 minutes. It just appeared out of nowhere.
And I'm not going to lie, it's not the same as, say, a 2,000 gold lead at like 8.5 minutes for a Lucian for Hope last game. This is a Mel, and this is Knight. And that might just be a final touch to this series if AL can't find something to hold on to here. And this is a troubling point, is because they draft this Nidalee to really express the skill of Tarzan. But when his lanes are losing so badly, you don't get to skill express your Nidalee. You have to be a heal bot. You have to be careful of where you are. And you can't play the champion as it's meant to be played.
And remember, not only do BLG have a ridiculous late game in terms of the Sivir, the Mel, the Karma, but Nidalee is really hard to play late game, like significantly harder than any other of these junglers that we've seen, whereas Jarvan can just go Destiny.
Okay, big yellow card. Triple knockup by Shun into the double Cataclysm, but the magical journey will get them out for now. Viper going to flash over the walls. Shun going for the flash play and a hope. Is he going to get him? The standard falls from the heaven, and Knight gets a almost solo kill onto Kael as BLG turned onto the dragon. This will be dragon number 2 for them.
This is the second time Viper has flashed over a wall aggressively. He is not happy about how the early game of that second game went. Tarzan, I don't know what you're doing here. I know it can be a bit scary. Well, actually, Flandre's TP down to the bot side, so this dragon will end up going over. It costs AL a lot to get this done. The Destiny goes in really aggressively. Shanks is struggling in this lane. He has barely any gold. But AL get the prize they were looking for, and it's an Infernal Soul. So that's worth, in my opinion, getting any dragons in this game now, you're feeling happy about. But I think that's a very risky contest from AL. That's at least what I want to see with the TF getting there that early, but it could have gone more pear-shaped than it did.
Yeah, I do appreciate the TP from Flandre. Just saying we need to quell this fire a little bit right now, buy ourselves, a little bit more time before they can just make the decision to take Soul or Soul Point. So at least giving themselves a little bit of breathing room here. But they need a little bit more than that because they need items completed. We already have first items completed aplenty for BLG, and they're going to bring that might right down on AL as On is going to flash preemptively to try to get the root. Doesn't end up finding it, but we are seeing the item spikes really come out big for BLG.
Yep, that's Flash gone on Shanks, who's so susceptible to all of BLG's comp. So Shanks is going to have to play a lot safer. Expect a BLG revisit to this TF pick. But I do like the Flandre TP, give a little bit of gold, Shanks ult over early. The problem is, I'm looking at a 2,000 gold lead, 10 stack Dark Seal. I have a feeling Knight is going to upgrade to Magi's. Kael?
Oh no, Kael, he's just dead. Knight takes him down. And that's about a minute 45 away from the Rift Herald, so nothing else going to come of it here. But Knight is 6-0 in a deciding game of the series.
So I feel like at this stage of the game, if you're Knight, you're like, man, why didn't I buy McHale's? I would have had more stacks. Because, that's kind of where we're at with Knight right now. He got a kill, but I guess it's not more stacks on his Dark Seal. He can't get any more because it can't really get any worse until he does buy that. But yeah, not only is it a rough position, but it's very difficult for AL to lock down this Mel. You're going to have to play really well around the Reflect, and there is possibility. You're really relying on the stun card, however, and the Tempered Fate. The Kael doesn't even have unlocked yet, but something needs to quell the fire that is Knight, or he will burn through your hopes.
Hope. He just gets caught. He was right there with Kael. And there's just nothing Kael can do, who's now also getting ran down, but maybe baiting Viper. Viper playing a little bit hot-handedly. They're going to get everything onto him, and the execution comes through the Cougar Claws. Chun is going to get one back, though, and now looking for more as TP came in from Bin. I don't know if they have the distance. That's the flash slice and dice into the Ruthless Predator, and that is Shanks down.
Woo! All right, well, Viper plays a bit too aggressive, but it doesn't end up mattering. Gives over some gold. BLG collect more. Knight in the top lane as well. Just giving it to Flandre right now. With the 3 grubs, the range. Rek'Sai does have a good amount of healing, but had to expend flash in that play as well, as it looks like Knight ended up forcing that out. Ben with a really good usage of his own flash. End up getting a kill onto Shanks. And even though the kills are, AL are getting kills, they have a dragon, the gold lead is just ballooning to more and more.
Yeah, and it's about a 4,000 lead right now, 15 minutes into the game, but Rift Herald has just started, and BLG are primed to take it. They will start off with the aggro, about a minute and a half till the next dragon, so this is all the focus for both teams. Tarzan is around the neighborhood here. See if he's going to be a good neighbor or a bad one. AL moving in.
Yep. Mel TP into the mid lane, so Knight will join. He's got so much gold. Here comes Destiny.
TP in as well. Rift Herald's already gone, though. Tempered Fate used a little bit late there. That will be the objective secured for BLG and what they came for. Some TPs used as well as resources burned by both teams.
Good to see AL not over desperate here. And good to see Knight not giving over as we take a look back at hope he's getting caught. Yeah, that's not the best. Viper has a bit of fun here. But yeah, in that play that we just saw at the Herald, Knight uses his Reflect on just the Q from Shanks, so can't walk up while Shanks has stun card available. So well played around that. They did get the Herald, but this is a really nice flash from Bin. Gets the stun onto Shanks, and then Shun gives the kill over to Bin. Okay, I'm surprised that he's got Rocket Belt for some more safety. Hasn't upgraded the Magi's yet, but surely we get the book.
More gold, more gold. He's had the same build, I believe, for 3 games in a row, except for the Malignance in game number 1 on the Ahri. As we take a look at BLG's play, trying to retreat away with the Flandre flank. Flandre trying to go for the flash knockup, but will just go for Shun. But now he's just left out by himself. A big Tempered Fate buys time, but look at Bin. Bin has found the counter flank, the flank of a flank. It's called a flangle. And now it's Knight taking down 1 kill. Does get the root there onto Flandre. Flandre's about to go down. The flash comes through from On. They are fine for now, but AL are bleeding.
Yep. Team fighting from BLG, so smart. Bin goes behind, doesn't commit. It just pulls AL off a little bit. And Shun goes in with the Cataclysm, flashes straight back out. And Kael ends up getting taken down. The Dragon's up, however. And BLG did use quite a lot during that. They used On Flash, Shun Flash, Cataclysm. So AL weather the storm through that engage and the flank from Bin and end up getting a second Drake for themselves.
They do, which is nice prize to bring home here. Being able to buy themselves 5 minutes in stacking, but also get themselves towards that Infernal Soul, which is just so damn powerful for both teams, honestly, for this game as well. But it's still the advantage towards BLG so far in a team that seemingly doesn't look back most of the time, at least when they do have an advantage. And they're going to be pushing into the red side jungle of AL.
See, Knight has a book. But it's the wrong book. He has Amp Tome. I wanted Magi's, okay? We're doing some reading.
A better book.
It's not the right book, though. Wrong author. I don't know who... you need to read some more Magi's. He's a really great author.
Oh, is the book called Magi's, or is it the author? Or is it both?
Well, I thought it was... Isn't it like Soul Stealer or something like that?
Yeah.
Magi's Soul Stealer?
Is that the name
Soul
of the
Stealer
book,
by
though?
Magi's? Yeah. Who writes the book? Who writes the
Good
Amp Tome?
questions.
Some wizard? These are all really important questions.
Some random wizard. That's the answer I like to hear. Now, it feels like nothing happened in these last little bits, and still, like, the gold lead went up by 1,000 for BLG. And it's just some of the macro, some of the map play we've seen from this team, which has been a breath of fresh air today. I gotta say, their macro has been, for the most part, on point during this series against one of the tougher competitions we have.
Yep, this is the pipeline, actually. Lose 3-0 to WE, 3-L AL. But it's looking like BLG want to get their rematch against WE so far. AL, I mean, they fought valiantly through this series so far, but they just haven't been able to answer BLG in their team fights, in their macro. Game 1 was the closest we've seen, Mazel. And which is funny, because AL was destroying Game 2. Flandre has to flash away.
But now he doesn't have an exit to get away from the Cataclysm, and the rest of BLG are coming over to him. He's going to use the Void Rush. Destiny in, but the On the Hunt has been popped, and BLG are just that. They are on the hunt for some pandas, and it's BLG looking for more. It's going to be TP to the mid lane coming through from Knight as well.
And I like pandas. Can't be doing that to... I guess these pandas are attacking you, so maybe that's... Anyway.
They're aggressive pandas.
Yeah, these ones, they bite back.
Rabid pandas.
And they throw spears at you and magic spells. Knight pushing in the mid lane, 3,000 gold lead on this Mel. BLG getting poked down a little bit, but I feel like they just don't care. Okay, Viper cares about that one. That'll dissuade the push from BLG. I think AL feel pretty happy about the Dragon position, but they're so far behind in items.
Essence Flux gets dodged, Knight, everything being thrown at him. He gets away with a flash. They're still going to try. Shanks goes for the flash gold card. It's going to be blocking the Nidalee spear by Shun, but still falls to the Cougar Claws. And that's going to be TP late from Rek'Sai from Flandre. TP to try to take down this turret potentially in mid lane, as I think that's a little bit hard to do. The minion wave is gone. Still 2 minutes for a Dragon, so AL just looking for the scraps on the back end of the play in mid.
Yep, guess it's a good thing Knight didn't go Magi's. Would have lost a lot of stacks there, but... And you get the flash out of Knight. You can't really get anything else. Can't get the mid lane tower. There's no Dragon available, but it does mean that this Mel is a little bit more susceptible to things like the Tempered Fate. If you can land onto Knight or Viper as well, potentially, in this next fight. Not a ton of engage outside of the Rek'Sai. You do have the stun card as well to layer on top. So hopefully Tarzan has enough CC at his disposal to hit these spears. Not a huge fan of Rocket Belt Nidalee, but the 5 stacks on Darkseal and the Lich Bane is pretty nice as well. Baron has spawned. I think that neither team Should be taking that too soon. My concern is Viper. He's kind of gone under the radar. 9 assists, a couple of aggressive flashes, but he's been, for the most part, left to farm. He's got 217 CS at 21 minutes and is completely power farming through this, you know, mid-game. Once he starts getting these items online...
Oh, Shanks getting caught here by Bin. Bin just running him down, flashing on top of him, and spin to win, baby. BLG looking to do just that as Flandre forced to get away through his tunnel network. It's still BLG with a 5v4 now, 25 seconds away from the Dragon.
This is one of the most one-sided top lane series I've seen coming out
really
from Bin.
is.
When I was talking about the Viper CS, I didn't actually look. Bin has more. He has more CS than a Sivir on Renekton, and he is completely destroying AL in this series.
Oh, whoa. Even through all the heals, the Golden Eclipse finds you nonetheless. Another kill tonight.
Yeah, I hope not happy about that in the player cam. Dragon over to BLG. And potentially more. They could look for something like a Baron, although maybe not through the risk of, you know, giving over any shutdowns. However, that's only on Bin and Shun. Viper and Knight don't have a shutdown anymore. And Knight is building up his Dark Seal stacks back up to where they were.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, Viper's getting close to this, like, upgrade, more crit. He's just going to do so much damage the longer this game goes. And Bin... Ooh, okay.
Oh, Tarzan wants it. He thought about flashing. Doesn't go for it. The thing is like, I don't know. You can talk about what losses do to teams, especially good teams, and how they learn from them. Whatever went through the camp after BLG lost to WE needs to be studied, because they have been a monster to deal with since then. A 4-hit of the reflected true shot barrage from Knight might just spell the doom of AL, as Shun barely makes it alive. They can't even get a kill back.
Yeah, Shun so low, but it doesn't even matter. He's going to heal off of the Scuttle Crab and his jungle pet. And Knight is just playing bouncer. There's nothing AL can do right now. They tried desperately, but they get caught. Tarzan out and ends up dying. Won't be the Baron for BLG right now. They're just playing it so slow and patient. They know this game has a timer. Knight's going to get more items. He actually has Lich Bane, which is crazy. I haven't seen that build on Mel very often. But Viper's working on his Navori. When we get to 4-item Sivir, you think that game looks rough for AL now? Just wait, because it doesn't get any better from here on out.
And I'm just seeing smiles and laughs on the side of BLG.
Yeah, they know.
Meanwhile, devastation on the other side. And trying to come to grips with what is going on in front of you. 7,000 almost plus gold lead at 25 minutes in for a team that has shown life, that has shown want. Like, they 3-0'd LGD in that lower bracket after falling to AL, or falling to WE rather. But this AL team just haven't been able to find that classic mix of power that has been a boon for them against BLG in the past.
Yeah, and the top lane situation and mid have been a bit rough here for AL, but the games haven't. Game 1 was really close. Game 2 started great and then ended up being... But it felt like Game 2, when they started throwing the game, AL haven't really found their footing back in this series.
Oh, he just spell shields it, man. He just spell shields it. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Doesn't even have to flash. Like, what do you do? How do you find catches? AL... Like, they have tools to find catches. Spell shield, stun card, tempered fate, you know, Flandre engaging. You have range damage with Shanks, Hope, and Tarzan, but none of it is able to find value so far.
And now you're hitting 3 items for multiple carry members on BLG, and you're finding Kael, who gets caught out, and the spear gets reflected. Knight is doing everything right now. He is a one-man band. He's reflecting. He's hitting those skill shots being reflected, and he's getting all the kills. 11-1. He's looking to make a mark on this playoff with a most kills of a single game here if he continues.
And he upgraded to Magi's. He is reading the right book here. TP's in from both the top laners. Knight is fearless.
He's going to use the rebuttal and the flash. He is out of there, but Bin instantly turns. He is a predator in the night, and AL, they've gone completely lights out. Viper is striking. Hope doesn't have any hope left in his tank, and they are just going to take them down one by little one. Tarzan going to try to fight back on his Shun, but he has Bin coming around the corner who slices and dices. Does go under turret and does back away. Still strong moments from BLG as they turn back onto the Baron.
Yeah, so well played from Knight. Baits Shanks in. Shanks flashes. Knight answers with it.
Bin is just in the backline. 1v3 Gigabin activated. I don't know if he's going to survive this one, but the Stair Gauge does go by him so much time. He's flashing. He's getting the kills now. Slice and dice, but he's going to go down. No, he does get the kill back. Knight helps him, but in the end, it's some trades back. They lose 1 for a Baron buff on 4.
This game feels like Knight and Bin fighting for player of the match. Knight does something cool, Bin's like, all right, fine, watch this. And then Knight's like, no, I'm coming too because I want another kill on my Mejai's. Look at how Knight plays this. So he puts up his reflect. Then as Shanks flashes, he's not in range for the stun card. Then Bin is right next to him. Shanks just flashed, no stun card. Beautiful Mikaels from on there to immune the CC that comes through. But Viper's so strong, Hope can't do anything. And Mazel, this... I know I said it last game and I was wrong. This game is over. There is no comeback at all inside for AL.
Yeah.
Nidalee does not have a stance in this game. Look at what Bin does.
I mean, he's literally just 1v3 and they get 2 kills
4
back
levels
for
up.
this one. It's actually disgusting. And it's a return to a classic for Bin in the Renekton. It's a non-return to form for AL. And the thing that hurts the most
He tried
about
to
this
steal
is,
that.
yeah. The thing that hurts the most about this for AL is the fact that Flandre and Shanks are usually stable points for AL to play around, and especially in their traditional matchup against BLG. But right now, it is a complete and total solo lane diff throughout this entire series.
Knight's done some studying. He has 24 stacks Mejai's. He's read up on the right book. Terrifying. 600 plus AP right now on this Mel. And Shun is just saying, you dare use this pick against me? I was here when the Nidalee was strong. And you think you can play it against me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, the fact that he's just going forward now into the enemy
at
base.
this.
They're just going
What do you
flashing
do?
forward. Viper's just finishing the game. AL, they did not show us any life in this last series for them. And BLG, they continue to march 1 by 1 in the lower bracket. It has been a masterful spring split playoffs for them. They lost to WE, but then they went on a 3-0 against EDG, a 3-1 against JDG, and now a 3-0 versus AL to go on for their revenge tour against WE. They've been building up and the Titans have been unleashed. BLG 3-0 over AL in a dominant lower bracket semifinals.
Having a bit of fun there at the end, BLG.